Da, 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 da. I can't do that, can I? Find my documents.
Hello.
Hello?
As you can see, there's no one here yet.
There's somebody at a phone number. They're only showing up as audio right now.
519, it might be Fiona.
9472. Yeah, I did a chat to see who it might be.
It might be Fiona. I'm not sure.
Okay.
That's me. That's Katrina from
Hi,
Windsor.
Katrina.
How are you?
Did you call in on your cell phone?
Yes.
Okay. Did you want to do the video or just the audio?
No, audio's fine.
Okay.
Because I might have to run somewhere, so I can still participate and be doing what I'm doing, right?
Yeah, no problem. I'll change that to your name so we know. There. Okie dokie.
Okay. Well, I think we gotta wait. We have to wait for a little bit to see who else shows up. I think Monica and Mark are chiming in soon.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know Eileen was supposed to come too, and Shirley Cheney. Maybe waiting. How are you, Katrina?
I am good. How are you?
Good, not bad. What's going on with you these days?
Nothing much. I'm still on that LD reference committee. We have a meeting in 2 weeks.
Yeah. I hear that.
Yeah.
Moving along here.
It's not what?
I hear that not much is happening there.
It depends on the school board, right, and what's going on. They are having some good results in our board. They're having some really good results, but of course they're not picking the severe kids, right? So
Right.
that's my issue, because I'm supporting the provincial schools, right? For the severest kids, because that's who end up there.
Right.
But it is making a big difference with a lot of kids that are mild to moderate. It's really making a difference.
Yeah.
But I still think they need to just make that, you know, across the board for every student. If everybody learned that way, then it would be much easier than pulling kids out, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what you should
Yeah.
know, Katrina, about so Janice and I were at the IDA conference in Atlanta in the fall, and Maureen was getting an award for her work in this area, and she presented research there that says that intervention should be happening earlier, between kindergarten and grade 1.
Oh yeah, and that's another thing that I haven't, you know, they're picking third graders right now, which I'm thinking, you know, that's just too late.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can absolutely catch them earlier.
Oh yeah.
But, you know, yeah, we're still arguing all these issues.
Do they ever bring up anything about, you know, screening in kindergarten, grade 1?
No.
For dyslexia?
Right now, our board is using, I believe they're using the test that they give them in grade 2 as their criteria for some of these kids. But
At all, though?
what was that?
Does that come up in the committee at all, that they, you know, should look at doing that?
Anybody's own snow, like.
Well, we keep arguing this, right? That it needs to be done earlier. What are they using to pick these kids out with? And every school board, that they're all doing different things. It's ridiculous. We're like, how are you gonna figure out what works if everybody's on a different page?
Yeah.
You know, and like some school boards are just using Empower, some are using Empower and Lexia. Some school boards are only doing one or two schools. We're doing 10.
Yeah.
It's crazy. They've said at one of the first meetings, they can't pick kids that were severe as like mine was. They just wouldn't do it. And for a variety of reasons, they said, because, well, we don't know if it's, you know, a reading issue or if it's something else.
Oh, they know. They could know if they wanted to.
Oh, yeah. And we keep arguing that. It's absolutely, we knew in kindergarten with Omar, well, we knew before he went into JK, but
yeah,
the teacher knew. She was testing him for his letters. One day he knows it, one day he doesn't.
Yeah.
It's like, what more do you need? Like, it's right there in front of you.
That's shameful.
Well,
oh, I know.
Rena has joined us.
Hey there.
Let me see Rena there. Whoops. Rena made the track. Can you believe that? In the snow.
Oh, geez. Hi, Rena.
Hey
How was
there.
traffic? How was the weather?
It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, you know, there was a crash on the Queenie on the other side, thank goodness. So
Oh, no doubt.
someone went too fast, I'm sure.
If you want to stay, you're more than welcome to stay. Or I have to keep your hotel.
No.
Like, how much snow did you guys get up there?
Oh, lots. And, you know, I had a student from Elmvale, like a half hour away. And they got to Victoria Harbor, were shocked. I mean, we had triple the snow they did. It was like Thursday night to Friday, we must have gotten a foot. Like I walked through like thigh deep to get in the door at work. It was,
And you're thinking, why did we move from Toronto?
yeah.
Wow.
Jealous of the snow, like you can stop. Like, it's a little too much. Yeah, no, it's fine. I got a good car. I've got winter tires and
That's the key. I'm going to sit over there. I'm going to try to sit with Rena. There's also
you know what?
so I think we should just start
Yeah.
probably and let people come in while they want to.
Yeah.
You think?
Yeah. Give it to 10 past or so.
Let's do that. 10. Give till 10 past, and then we'll start.
Okay.
Well, okay. So who else is coming? Eileen.
Eileen, Shirley.
Yeah.
Shirley's never been in person before, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And it is slow out there, so.
Hello there. Come on in. Sorry, I was just gonna move.
Hard drive.
I know. I can't believe you actually were gonna come.
It's okay.
Thank you.
For credit. It's
Oh,
not
that's
too
good.
bad.
This is Shirley.
Hi.
Tell me how you say your last name again.
Shady.
Okay, I want to make sure I was right.
Yes.
Okay,
It's a little.
so
So we were in the Zoom meeting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I know you from there.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. Sorry, guys.
but you guys are
Okay.
help yourself. There's drinks here. For now.
I have to have a cookie.
Me too. I forgot to eat today.
Oh no.
I went to work out, and then I was like, kids have to go here, kids have to go there. And I forgot to eat, and this is not what I should be eating, but they're good. Yeah, we're just gonna wait until quarter after, because given the
The weather.
weather and stuff, yeah.
Yeah.
So, and then Katrina, I don't think, Janice, can you send what I sent out to everyone to Katrina?
Pardon me?
Can you send, the documents I sent like this morning to everyone?
Oh, yeah, I can send them to her.
Katrina, because I didn't know she was going to come in. So if
Okay.
she sent that to her, that'd be good.
Okay. Okay, what's your email, Katrina?
It's MIT
MIT?
LEJ.
Oh, here we go, I have it. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, I'll send it to you right now.
Those are delicious. They're awful delicious. So Eileen's supposed to come, Shirley. Mark and Monica. Monica and Lark
Oh, Monica, yeah, okay.
are coming in by Zoom.
Oh, okay.
Fiona said she's going to come in person, but I think she may just come in by, hopefully.
And
Katrina Alshwisa.
and Janice is controlling them, isn't it?
Yes. So, sorry, just have some patience, guys. I apologize about this, but
That's okay.
how people filter in here. Morning.
Oh.
Oh, frig. Oh, I just keep wanting to put my arm up on the table, then I realize I can't. All your habits you go to do, and then your arm says, no, you shouldn't do that. Anyway.
So Katrina, how's Omar doing?
Oh, he's doing great. He's in academic classes.
Good.
And he barely uses, the only accommodation that he really uses is extra time.
Yeah.
And usually that's only for math.
That's good.
Yeah, and he's doing great.
And is that group that you were working with, the Provincial Demonstration Schools group, still working together or no?
Yes. Yep. They still have their website going and we still keep in contact because we're not, we can't stop until we know that they're safe, right? They're not going to be safe until this pilot project is done.
Yeah, for sure.
Because that's what they're trying to, they won't come out and say it, but that's what they're trying to do.
To shut those down.
Well, yeah. But, it's proving that if they can't even pick the severe kids, the ones that end up at those schools, then how are you going to prove that you can do it in the school board?
Yeah.
Won't work. Well, we keep plugging along. This next meeting should be interesting. It's going to have student voice.
Interesting. You know what
We're going to have
one thing I heard about that group is that there isn't any representation from large school boards, and that's a major issue.
Well, no, not the largest, like
Right.
Toronto, no. But like,
Is there anybody there? Is there anybody there from Thames Valley?
Thames Valley. I don't think so.
London.
London.
It's mostly Catholic, isn't it? Small Catholic.
Honestly, I can't even remember the school boards. I don't think so. The Thames Valley?
No.
Yeah, probably
Yeah,
not.
maybe there is.
Huron-Maitland, don't they have someone from Huron-Maitland?
On the committee, yeah.
Yeah, because that's a very successful center. They put a lot
Yeah,
of power in every single
that's
school.
Colin Rankin is from Avon Maitland, and he was actually the tech guy and one of the, working at the provincial schools.
Oh, okay.
They brought him in, after the first couple of meetings. They asked him to join.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Okay.
But yeah, like I said, both school boards here in Windsor are doing the pilot project, the Catholic and the public, but they're so vastly different that it's not even like totally different the way they're handling things.
So they're not even doing it with consistency so they can compare results.
No, they're all over the map in what they're doing.
Huh.
Some school boards are doing 1 or 2 schools. I think the Catholic board here is doing 3, I think. We're doing 10. And then we set ours up because she needs to have data to use, right? So she did 5 schools with just Empower, and then 5 of the schools have Empower and Lexia together. And the ones that have Lexia, if a child in, let's say the 3rd grade classroom, if one child is taking Empower, then the whole class is doing Lexia, not just that kid, the whole class. So she only did that to get the data. We know probably which one's going to work better is the one with Lexia. Obviously, the more tools you give them and the more practice you give them, the better they're going to be, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So we know that was going to work better, but we have to prove it, right?
I think I might zoom in. Have you guys met before?
Okay.
You've met before, right?
Maybe. Yeah, I'm
Okay.
Rena. Hi, Rena. I'm sure. Hi, Shelley.
Fiona is here.
Hi, Fiona.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, we've got like a funny. Well, I'm trying to figure out, this thing is not working. I usually use this with Karen.
Yeah,
Do you use
so
this too?
Yeah.
But mine's not working.
My husband's the kind of IT guy, so I don't usually.
Hi, Fiona.
How are you doing?
Good.
Good.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if maybe we can get a wider zoom on my screen. If you're speaking, lean in. How about that?
Yeah.
Sorry, Janice.
No, I can hear everybody pretty good.
Okay, good. That's good. Fiona, would you like that? There's cookies. There's also drinks. And then, sorry, this is a really, I just literally threw it together. It's like this morning, copies and stuff off the internet. But because we're going to talk about it today. So, okay, should we start? We might as well.
Yep.
We said that we're going to start at 1 to 10. Perfect. Okay, so welcome everyone. We do have maybe the 2 of you want to introduce yourself and Christina, because a number of us are we're kind of old hats, the 3 of us. So we're just going to do a quick round of introductions for those who may not know each other, okay? So
I think we briefly met last time when we were all kind of hiding from our children, trying to.
Yes. Hi.
Closet.
Yeah. So my daughter has dyslexia. She's in grade 4. She's tutored by Karen, and I've actually just taken her off. She's getting
wow.
Yeah, full 180. Wow. She just had exams at the mentor, and math, reading, spelling. I was like, you should take this test and make it to a crown and wear it like Karen, because I was like so happy. Anyways,
That's good. That's good.
Yes, we wanted to help and get involved, and that's great. Yeah.
And there were, so Shirley's part of the little fundraiser that Karen had. Shirley was there. I think you were at that one, right? I wasn't able to be there. I'm sorry. But there was a number of parents who were quite, active and thinking about it. So that's kind of, thanks for joining us. And then go ahead, Fiona. You want to introduce yourself?
My name is Fiona. I have 3 boys. The youngest he's in grade 6. He's in French, looking for French, and he's just been through Washington Gillingham and done extremely well. And now he's also getting beat lessons and Asian languages and all sorts of things, which we are extremely happy about. I'm also trained now as a multi-billion teacher. So at Claremont in Toronto, and I teach through the Learning Disabilities Association, and I have 6 people every week. So
And Katrina, do you want to give yourself a, oh, hello.
Hi, we have a new, hi.
Can you hear me? Sorry?
Oh, Katrina, go ahead.
Oh, hi, I'm Katrina. I'm Katrina Elshami. I'm from Windsor. My son's severely dyslexic, spent 2 years at a demonstration school. He's now in grade 9 at the regular high school in academic classes, doing great. And I'm just continuing to keep involved with getting dyslexia awareness out there.
Katrina, if you guys saw the news like about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, when the demonstration schools they were really trying to shut them down, and parents like were up in arms. Katrina was one of the parents. She was at Queen's Park a lot, so there's lots of discussion about that. And then this isn't Lark. Sorry, hi there.
Hi.
Can you tell us who you are and just give us a brief introduction?
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. I've got the earphones on here. I'm in the public library at the moment.
Oh, hi.
Hi. Hi. My name's Christine. I'm in Ottawa. I have a son that's 9 years old with dyslexia. He's been with an Orton Gillingham tutor for 105 hours, and he's progressing really well. And, I'm just hopeful that the progress will continue, and we'll see what the future holds for him.
Great.
I'm sorry, Christine. I didn't, from far, I have a very small thumbnail of you when you're not talking, and so I didn't know who you were. I'm glad you could come in and join us today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good.
I'm Janice. Oh, can
Go
you
ahead,
hear me?
Yeah.
Hi. I have a daughter who's, almost 18 with dyslexia. She's at the Gow School down in outside of Buffalo. And she's graduating this year and has been accepted to 4 universities so far. And she's doing fantastic.
Yeah, like good, like St. Bax, not Allison, like that's great.
Dalhousie, St. Mary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And she used to come here. She was closer. She was coming to a lot of meetings too. Well, and when you were at the conference, I guess, yeah. So she was in the student panel in the like a private school uniform. She was, So it's very exciting for her. Yeah. And you know me, I've got 3 boys who are all dyslexic, and interesting enough, so my little one is still going to see Karen a couple times a week, but Xavier, my middle one, who is pretty much the most severe dyslexic in our household, he's got auditory processing as well, is like a solid 95 student at school, and he asks for more, gets more from his teachers. Like when they were 97% in his grammar and found a spelling error on the grammar test. He was like, Mom, I found it. They gave me extra points for it. So, like a lot of parents, I think it comes back. Like sometimes it sits dormant for a while for those guys, and then all of a sudden it kind of just becomes a part of who they are. And it shocks me. And I don't edit any of this stuff. I don't do anything. I shoot that it all. So anyway, I'm with you guys. So what's this? Oh yeah, well, I think what's exciting is that we've all had the experience of like being in the hardest part and then seeing success with kids. And then now we need to help others understand that, right? In many ways. So is this Lark and Monica? Is that you guys? Lark and Monica?
Hi.
Is that you?
Yes, looks like them. Can you hear us?
Hello, ladies.
Hi, Lark, can you hear us?
I'm not sure they can hear us. Are they? Okay. Can you guys hear us? I don't want to. Janice, you want to see if you can fix that?
Hi, Lark.
Hi guys.
Hi.
Sorry we didn't have sound for a while.
Oh, okay.
We do now though. Hello.
Lark and Monica are in Toronto. Do you want to introduce yourselves very quickly?
Hi, I'm Lark.
I'm Monica.
Okay, tell us about yourselves.
We're both teachers. We're actually at the reading clinic that I started just out of my house 2 years back, supporting my daughter who was working with Rena, and then Rena moved, blah, 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 blah. So yeah, and then I've been working with Lark's son for about a year, and she's on my team of tutors. Yeah, doing the Barton system. So.
And that's their center. It's awesome. In the beaches.
Yeah.
Yay! Glad you guys could join us. Thanks for coming.
Sorry it took us so long to get on.
That's okay. There's snow and etc. going on.
Yes.
So.
Yes.
Although Rena gets the gold medal because she came.
Oh my gosh!
Look, she's here.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
Anyway, okay, so let's get going.
Okay.
I'm going to go through just a few of the activities we've got lined up in 2018. And this meeting really is about how we're going to accomplish things. Because a couple of us met as kind of a board, those who are sitting on the board discussion last week. And we realized before we can go forward with anything around fundraising, we really have to simplify our base. Know who we are, and see what we're doing. And so we have to make sure we do that first before we can get into anything else. So that's what today's board meeting is about. It's really about what we need, want to accomplish.
Annette? Hi. Sorry to interrupt. We're getting a background noise from somewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, that could be me.
Is it? Okay.
Can I mute myself? Does that mute me?
Bar.
Let's
Yeah,
see.
the bottom left. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just unmute whenever you want to join in.
Okay.
Okay, great.
So really briefly, this is what's coming up for the year. So Reading for the Love of It is happening February 22nd to the 23rd. We're partnering with On on that. We have a woman named Tracy Shepherd who's on their board, who will be there with me for the 22nd, the day of the 22nd. And then Janice and Tracy will be there on Friday.
Okay.
Oh, I thought I did.
Okay.
A while back. I had it in my
I mean,
calendar.
you'll take anyone you
Hey,
can,
listen,
right?
if you want to
The
be
more the
there,
merrier,
I'll
yeah.
be there on the 23rd.
Oh, yay. Shirley can be there on the 23rd as well. That's great.
Okay, great.
And then, Annette, I have a booth too. So if anybody wants to hang out, or if there's not enough space, we'll be there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that would be great. So Shirley, I'm going to email you. Yeah.
This Thursday.
I'm going to email you the details then, Shirley, and I'll get you in touch with Tracy Shepherd as well. And it's really big.
So you're there alone on the Thursday?
No, well, but from DDO,
okay.
Ontario,
Yeah.
but Tracy will be there with
Okay.
me, so that's fine.
I
Okay, good.
Really, it was just one day. It was yeah. Like
Oh.
people just, yeah. And
Teachers.
and hung, like, just where have you been, you know? Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
The weather's bad.
Maybe more, yeah.
Really?
For the most part. And then it was quite a contrast. There were some who just, here's some free information, and they just walked by like, no, I don't need more on my plate. Like, you know, don't want to help those kids. So.
Yeah.
This is our third year there this year, and what we're finding is more and more engagement by teachers. Last year there was tons of teachers coming from the north, like far north, so lots of First Nations.
Yeah.
Which was really fun to engage in conversation with them about it, because they're coming at it from second language acquisition issues as well, right? So and it's always interesting to see what the issues are that people bring forward, and increasingly teachers are like, yes, I need more information about this. So it's exciting to get that out.
Yeah, it's such a good platform for the awareness.
Yeah.
I mean, if teachers aren't aware, right?
Right. And that's thanks to Sean, who said, do something from within. Go to that. This is the biggest reading conference in Canada. And teachers come from all over Canada to this conference. It's amazing. So I'm glad that you guys will be there, Lark and Monica. That'll be awesome.
Reading for the love of it?
Yeah. So that's happening. We are involved in the Learning Disabilities Association of Halton conference. They asked me to speak.
Yay!
Shocker of shockers.
Okay.
And I'm actually allowed to say dyslexia. Which is interesting.
Somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I had a great conversation with the woman who is the director of that conference. She used to be the head of LDAH. And so it's pretty much dyslexia 101, what every teacher needs to know. And So I'll have all the same stuff that we have at the February conference, or the Reading for the Love of It conference there. So teachers. Yes.
Like,
That's
who are you
learning.
speaking to?
So it's the Learning Disabilities Association of Halton. It's mostly teachers. Some parents come. Anyone, administrators, people who are interested in special ed in Halton. It would be like your Learning Disabilities Association, but they're pretty active. And they garner a lot of a big audience. So it's good.
Annette, what's the date of that again?
I think it's March. I want to say March 13th, but I can't guarantee that. I gotta look back at it again.
Oh, that's okay. Just a rough.
Yeah. So that's happening. We have to have an annual general meeting for now that we're a nonprofit. That's going to happen in May. So we'll send some information.
No.
I'm going to jump to the ONVITA conference. ONVITA has asked me to sit on a conference committee. So Jane and Fiona sat on a meeting on Wednesday, right? That's right. Conference coming up in November. Do you want to give an update on what's happening?
Thanks. I can't hear you very well, Annette. Sorry.
Okay. Sorry, can you hear me now?
There we go.
Okay.
I think it was coming.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So Fiona's just giving us an update on the ONVITA conference meeting that you had on tonight. Okay.
Janice, you might have to help me out here with if I can't remember anything, but it's being held November the 3rd at the Science Centre.
Yeah, let's see. I've got my notes from that here somewhere.
The room can only hold 300 people, and I think that it is 400. So they had a start last year. So
for now.
Janice, step in any second if I get anything wrong here. But,
okay.
So it was November the 3rd, Science Centre. They are looking at like a possible other venue, but they think that they'll go with the Science Centre. And it was suggested that they webcast it to a different room. So if there's overflow or people come late, they would just webcast it from within. So expect to be able to do that, to find out whether that's feasible. If it is, they're very happy to do there, because they did that last year as well.
Yeah.
So, and the plan is to have 2 streams running in parallel, one for parents, one for educators. So, what was the lady called? Gab?
Nadine Gab? Yeah.
Gab
is going to be the keynote speaker.
From Boston. She's like the former neurodevelopmental child psychologist in the dyslexia area right now. Like, you don't want to miss her speech. It's amazing.
Sorry, who was that?
Her name is
Gaab.
Gaab. She's from Boston Children's Hospital.
Okay.
Yeah, you've seen her stuff. She's the one who's talking about like early identification, that you can find, you can identify that kids are dyslexic as early as age 5.5.
Right. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So you don't want to miss it.
So she was the keynote speaker, and then they want to break off into 2 different streams. So as far as I can gather, they have the sort of educator stream pretty much sewn up. Hey, Janice, but
I think so.
Parent stream, they're still looking for suggestions or ideas. And I think one of the questions was, what level of parent are you trying to hit? Are you trying to inform and help? Are you looking at a new parent who's just coming across the whole issue, or are you looking for to inform a parent who has been in it for years and so wants to roll up their sleeves?
I think you covered that all off.
And looking for what the rights are for the children, and sort of that sort of thing. So they were talking about bringing in Rob Moore from Vancouver.
Rick Moore is who they're hoping to get. I contacted a lady out in the West Coast that knows him, who said he's retired from speaking. Now,
I can call him, Janice. I
You
have
have his contact? Yeah, because I sent him a Facebook message. Without being too mean, I'm not sure if this lady will pass along my information no matter what. So, yeah, if you have his contact in that would be great. If you want to contact him, to call me or Azza or whatever.
Okay.
To let him know we are looking for him, hopefully.
And I think the question was whether they could secure him, but also the cost of bringing him in. So there was also talk about having him
cast. Oh, okay.
But I think Janice made a very valid point, which was that it's always better in person.
Yeah,
right?
For sure.
And especially if all these people are turning up and you know,
it's gonna sell out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pass on to them. I mean, I'm sorry I couldn't be there on Wednesday night, but Nancy Duggan, who is from Massachusetts, she's really one of the foremost kind of people who does work for Decoding Dyslexia in the U.S., has family here in Hamilton and has offered to come and speak. And she's
okay, right.
a specialist. So it might be interesting to have her come and speak about, okay, the basics of dyslexia, but then how do you help your child? And then how do you get involved with organizations to help others help their children? You know what I mean?
That's good. Yeah.
Like, I think she'd be awesome.
So that would
She's
be
really nice.
perfect.
And she works with Nadine Gobb. She's very close with her.
So that would be perfect because I think they were going to try and get Nadine to present the keynote on the role, sort of overall sort of thing, and then ask her maybe if she could come back and do the how to spot if your child is, because they didn't know who. I don't think there was an idea, a specific idea who else could do that.
Well, Nancy could do that. She's also trained. Now she's American, but I also think
she was at the Harvard.
No, she wasn't. No, but she was just here at a wedding recently, and she said, "Hey, I'm here. Can we talk? Like, maybe I'll come back sometime and present for you guys." Wow. So, that's just awesome when people will, who are part of. And she's a go-getter. Seriously.
I would hope that at the conference there would be some session or something that is a sort of a call to arms of get involved and tying in hopefully to what we're going to talk about the town contact kind of thing or something, right?
Yeah, like how do you get
like at our conference there was that push to how everyone go home and
do something,
right?
I think there was talk of that. If we're having Rick Moore, would it be feasible to also bring in and Janet a lawyer from or somebody who
we should contact them now.
Yeah, who could do that? Would be a motivational, not motivating, but these are the rights of your children. Are you?
Yeah, you had somebody at the Harvard.
We did.
Yeah,
she was from Justice for Children and Youth.
Yes.
But you know what? They are coming out with the Human Rights Commission is coming out with a new document on education and disability. Isn't that right? Or Janice, what is it they're working on?
Something like that. And that's where I suggested that having, if possible, somebody from the Human Rights Legal Support Center would be better if we can get one of them to come, because they'll know, the most current things, I guess, that are going on with legal stuff and education and whatnot. It's just a matter of seeing if we can get somebody there, like one of their lawyers.
Call them now, because if you call them like a month in advance, they've already got their schedule set.
Yeah. No, they'll be contacted next week. And as far as worrying about Nancy Duggan being American, when it comes to the dyslexia stuff, that doesn't matter really. When you get into the legal and the rights and whatnot, that's where you need a Canadian, because their laws are so much different.
Right. I think you're right.
And I think there really isn't enough information. I don't know. You can find all this 504 and all the stuff on, American stuff, but really we don't have anything close to that. Yeah.
And I think the expertise.
Yeah.
You find out from the experts, you can sort of disseminate that amongst the Canadian, population and
Annette.
Yes, go ahead.
Sorry, I don't know. I don't know if this is a good time to jump in, and I'm just throwing this out there. Monica and I have met with Nathaniel Erskine, who is our member of parliament, our MP federally. And he's also a lawyer, and then he suggested we meet with our MPP. But it was very interesting. He said that where we were coming from, that these are not human. From his point of view in the law, it's very hard to prove human rights. And he was just mentioning that it would be very hard to prove, and he doesn't see them as human rights issues. And when we met with the MPP who deals with the school boards, his suggestion was, which I thought was interesting, he's like, getting the school boards to change something, I think you're taking on a battle that you're not going to win. And he said, if you look at the autism movement, we've got Geneva Center and these other things. And he said, you want to go, you might want to follow their steps and try and get, after school programs or outside areas, that this is not the school board's main area, that they are going to solve all the problems. Just like when they have children with autism, they are accommodating through programs and trained teachers, but the main ABA or any type of treatment for that is provided outside of the school system. And that was what I'm just throwing out there, what both of them suggested to us. The only thing I can talk about the school board is that I know in the TDSB, they're finally just talking about possibly bringing in the Wilson system into inner city schools, because they will use funding through their model school programs. But the main issue there is that you're just always going to get into a standstill, because we are not using the term dyslexia. They're using the term learning disability and reading phonemics. So even if it talks about phonics, the school board then will say this child is getting pulled for resource, where a resource teacher is working on phonics with them, end of case. So it becomes about how do you really judge these programs. And when the school board is doing the psychoed evaluations, those psychoeds are done just for the school board. So they can dictate in some regards what terminology is being used. And that's where they go with the LDs.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
it's kind of convoluted then. We get stuck on these logistics of terminology and then what the programs...
Because they don't want to pay for it.
Exactly.
Well, this is what I think is crazy. The fact that an MP and an MPP both think that this is not the job of a school board. We're not talking about...
Well, no, I didn't mean it like that. What they're saying is, yes, the school should be doing this. But one of them emailed me, he passed it on. So we were going to meet with Michael Couteau's assistant of the Child of Family. And I also talked to the City of Toronto's daycare programming, her assistant, because she was wondering what she could do for kids that are in after-school programs or daycares to prepare them. So he's saying it is the school boards, but if this is what they're doing, they're saying they're already meeting these criterias. And he was saying there might be funding and other easier ways to make changes in services if you take on the route that the autism movement got.
Yeah, family and health.
If I can say, the thing about the autism movement, though, as opposed to dyslexia is reading, which is directly related to the school, whereas autism is a
social
certainly disorder that affects kids at school, but it's two separate things. For an MP to say it's not a human rights thing is pretty bad, because it is.
Okay, so sorry, I just want to change. He's saying, I doubt you would win a human rights lawsuit. He is saying, these are human rights, but the school board is coming. So I don't think, sorry if I put that word, I don't think he's implying it's not a human rights. But I think when we had said, we're talking about human rights issues and we've got lawyers involved, he is saying, how difficult it is to win a case like that, especially when the school board has IEPs, goes to IPRC, and provides a program and a teacher who is supposedly trained.
Clark, it's really accurate, actually, because Janice has a...
we'll find out in a few months' time.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah. I'm just throwing things out there that we are being just
Yes,
for
cool.
us to have the knowledge, and so
What I would say,
Yeah.
and no, we're not shooting you, Lark.
Yeah.
Just trust me, we're
no,
not.
yeah, no, I know,
not you, we're shooting him. It sounds
well, you
encouraging.
know, though, for me, he brought up some points. Like, it's just where I get frustrated. It makes me think, though. But I mean, we all just this terminology is getting us caught up. And when I go to a school board meeting and the psychologist says dyslexia isn't in the DSM-5, then I'm chatting with the psychiatrist at CAMI. He says, yes, it is in the DSM,
Yes.
and
It is.
it's lack of knowledge in the school board, and they won't
They
use
won't
it.
acknowledge that. You're right. I think you're absolutely right, and I think our MPPs and our MPs are equally as lacking in knowledge, and that's
Yes,
that's
yeah.
the people who are in decision-making power positions don't know what they're talking about. So when he's giving you advice like that, he's sorely misinformed. That's the problem.
Well, and
But we had that same issue, Annette, when we went for the provincial board. Remember, we had the very high-priced lawyers, and they were having a difficult time in proving a human rights issue.
That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I know too.
Yeah, and
PDSB and the human rights complainants lost.
well, we'll find out in a few months' time. If I can say, my case is moving forward.
Yeah, that's good.
We have a mediation set up. Well, it's going to be set up for May, probably at the end of May, with the school board and the Human Rights Legal Support Center. I don't expect mediation to be successful because of what we're asking for in damages, with sending her to the GAO for 2 years.
Right.
So I expect it to go on to a hearing. And based on speaking with a private human rights lawyer in Toronto, there is a case that's the closest one yet that was decided a year and a half ago, where it was a human rights breach, I guess they call it.
Yep.
So they did win their case, and the family was awarded $35,000 in damages.
Mm-hmm.
And they're also settling now for some private school fees. And he feels that Victoria's case is much stronger.
Oh, wow.
So if we're successful, which I know I'm being optimistic, I think we will be, having a precedent set for a kid with dyslexia and winning it will move things along.
Oh, for sure.
Quite a bit. I guess I get upset when MPPs tell people that, or MPs, and like Annette said, they really don't know what they're talking about. And,
so I'll just clarify, like he said it would be difficult to win, possibly. He knows a couple's been brought up in the TDSB. Where I did find them helpful, though, was that they gave us contacts and saying, how do we get support services for these kids right away with money?
There's
Right.
other avenues to explore too, right?
Yeah.
I think that's what, he was saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hold on, Janice.
Wait.
We've got somebody who wants to say something here.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me, Janice?
I can?
Hi, Janice, it's Eileen.
Hi.
Hi, so I just want to throw something in here because sometimes it's like the angle and maybe I was smarting them, I don't know. But I want to throw this in. I'm dealing right now with my eldest son who has Aboriginal rights, ADHD, and just recently by sending him to the outer province to America, I was able to have him diagnosed with FAS.
Okay.
Not test for in this province, and so therefore we don't have a treatment path, and so therefore I have to go to the Charter of Rights.
Systemic.
Right.
Systemic. So now I have gone through several lawyers, and I have within the family criminal lawyers. My piece is this. So I've gone to several of them before I went to family because I didn't want family to have to deal with our issues. And all of the lawyers said, you don't stand a chance. We're hearing too. And I waved my flag. Well, how can that be? Because based on his disability, A, B, and D. And they kept saying, no, 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 sorry, you don't stand a chance. So back I go to the family lawyer of many, many years, and he said, because you're operating in the wrong angle of the law, you've got to go, you're not going to win it this way. You've got to come around the back door, click the Charter of Rights, and take it under the Aboriginal case.
Mm-hmm.
FAS is well documented in the Aboriginal.
Sure it is.
It's a failure to get diagnosis in this province and a failure to get treatment. So my piece is can we not piggyback our issue that we are failing to get diagnosis with dyslexia and failing to get
It all
treatment?
boils down to money.
And my thing is, you can go to the I go to lawyers, they're not knowledgeable, and then MPs are not knowledgeable.
No, not at all.
There's no point. We're kind of going up against the wall.
So, Eileen, are you saying if we're not successful to go for a Charter of Rights federal case?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, that's something to keep in mind for sure. I don't give up.
Is that a bunch of people? Is that what that? No, that's a.
I mean, it is something that's federally, every kid, like, wow. I think that I think that what we're looking at, based on what you guys just presented, Lark and Monica, is the systemic nature of the discrimination against these kids is so widespread.
Mm-hmm.
And the lack of knowledge is so widespread that we are literally facing a massive wall. Yeah. And that sometimes it is just a case. It's not like, I think Eileen made a really good point. That you have to go with a really high level approach.
What we're trying to do, which I think is admirable. Obviously, I wouldn't be here. I learned so much from being in the presence of such passionate people. But we're trying to go up against ignorance.
Yeah. Right. It is lack of education. That's the biggest
ignorance. Yeah.
So we're going up against ignorance here. I think we don't waste our time and energy, which we're giving a lot to, and go right to human rights. We will get the backing of good people to help us fund that, and we can go into human rights, and maybe we go through the Aboriginal route, because I'm sure we have children with dyslexia in the Aboriginal side of things. And I'm telling you, anything Aboriginal right now,
let's focus.
Will get focus.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Everybody's telling me I have to go outside of the province. That's ridiculous. And I'm an educator and a person that has to do that. What is that saying? Needs are right at a whole. This has been. I have a dyslexic child. I'm an educator. I have never seen the term dyslexia. I have read so many of these things. I didn't recognize my own child as dyslexia until she told me that words moved on a page. Until I thought, oh yes, I know that's dyslexia. We're going up against ignorance, and the politicians will push us back. I think.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. This also reminds me, I'm going to follow up on some of the conversations with Michael Harris and also with, what's his name, Rahul Agarwal, about the potential for a class action lawsuit. So last fall, this lawyer that we've talked to several times, he was involved in the Moore decision. He actually might be a good one.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
He said that there was a law firm, a reputable law firm in Toronto who's looking at the potential for a class action lawsuit against the province for kids with dyslexia. All the way back.
That would be amazing.
Once I talk to Michael Couteau's assistant, I mean, I'll keep everybody informed just so we all know what's going on. So whether I'm hopeful or not, but I'll just tell you, people are starting to listen, and I guess that's a start. But it's good that you guys are pursuing everything on your ends.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Laura.
We'll do the smaller kind of grassroots in our constituencies. And I guess for me personally, where I was seeing this is that I don't have much hope that change is going to come through the school boards. It's going to have to be put on them by a human rights case or something else. Like, I don't think voluntarily the school board is going to start changing.
No, they won't do voluntarily.
No.
It depends on the school board, I would say, too.
Well,
there's
that's
a huge
true.
difference.
Yeah.
Yes, that's
different.
Yeah.
For systemic change, it'll have to come from a higher power.
Ministry of Education. Yeah.
No, that's true.
That's what they're trying to do with that LD project, but I don't. I'm not keeping my hopes up for the severest, and they're dodging the bullet as far as saying dyslexia, right?
Yes.
They're going around, so they're not even at our board. You don't have to have a psychological. They're using in-school testing or whatever criteria. If the child's behind, then they qualify. They're not worrying about getting them a psychological.
Right.
Which is the way it should be.
Yes.
Well,
So they're just catching them if they're behind, and they're picking the kids and putting them in the Empower and the Lexia. They're not worried about psychologicals anymore. They're not worried about if it's dyslexia or whatever. If they're behind, and they put them in the class.
That's
our board.
Yeah,
that's the way it should
what
be.
school board is it?
That's when Greater Essex County.
Okay.
Yeah.
But see, the Catholic board is doing something totally different for the pilot project, and so are all the other school boards. But I'll tell you, the big difference is the superintendent of spec ed at our board had a brain tumor. So she has a totally different perspective now on what it is to be learning disabled.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a huge advocate because she had to go get that brain tumor taken out, and she had to relearn things, right? So she has a totally different perspective. So now every school in our board has Empower.
That's amazing.
Whether they're a pilot project or not.
Wow.
But there's, so it's a huge difference across the board.
Oh yeah,
which,
definitely.
what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I still think that, they need to say it's dyslexia if that's what it is.
Exactly.
Because even if the child learns to read, they still learn a bit different. So they need to use that word. And I forced them to put it in the IEP for my son.
Oh, good.
We had a huge argument over that one. Well, why? Why should it be in there? I said, well, I'll tell you why. If a teacher happens to read the IEP, which they don't normally do, but just in case they read it, then if they see specific learning disability and they Google that, they're going to get something totally different than if they Google dyslexia.
Exactly. Yeah.
I want dyslexia in here, so if a teacher wants to look it up, they can look it up.
No, that's brilliant.
So they finally did it.
I was able to get that done on Victoria's IEP also. I mean, it didn't do much good, but it was there.
Right.
Yeah. But it's there. And if, if a teacher takes it upon themselves to look it up, all the information, they could possibly want is on Google. Like they can get tons of information. So it's helpful.
We'll comment here, Janice.
Okay, so there's but anyways, my broad concern is this, is that right now within the school board, they're just trying to address math. With the results, they can't decide really which way they can go. If they could figure out that problem, they would have figured it out. So what they're trying to do is address the issue, and with the result, the curriculum people are not putting any curriculum out. So the curriculum is really, the books are really old. And my thought so we've been doing jump math, which is fine, but we're looking at switching. And my feeling is don't wait for the province because they haven't figured it out. If they had figured it out, their scores would be great.
Yeah.
So the province, and when I was at the NACE conference, it was out of France that the math program had the highest rating. And don't wait on what the province is. Don't sit back and wait for the province to act because they'll take forever. And then the language and the programming and the books will take forever. And by the time they come out, things will switch too. Oh, yeah. So don't be, let's go outside of the box of our own province. And I don't know, when it comes to the math, I know that I can talk about dyspraxia and calcula, they're all in there too.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring if you don't mind, I think this has been a really fruitful discussion because it's helped us to look at, or to hear about the discussions that some of our decision makers are having, and helps us to rethink about, it helps us to give context to our discussion that we'll have in number 3. But I just want to go finish what we were doing in number 2 around the Alberta conference. So it sounds like we need to get some information, do some thinking and get some information to the conference committee about what kinds of things parents might be interested in hearing about. If you have any suggestions, send them on to Fiona or Janice.
Say you've got a kid who's a struggling reader and you're trying to figure out what to do. How do you get the information about the conference? Do you know, Janice?
There was a lot of talk about that. I think, Janice, you're involved in promoting it, aren't you?
Well, yeah, I'm involved with getting the school board's information and whatnot to ASA. I'm not sure if I'm going to be involved with in turn getting it out to people. Like, are you wondering?
Just online. Generally, it's just, that's how they notify people. Or through, and they have connections to school boards and membership. But if you have an idea, given your background.
I would do like, because I think if you've got a kid who's having a hard time reading, you're going to the library and you're trying to put them in a reading program, or you're going to Kumon and you're putting them in a reading program there. So I would advertise the conference there. Then that's where those people are going to be like, oh, okay, like this conference is working.
Yeah.
I did like a year and a half of Kumon or Sylvan, right? And then it's like, why is this not working, right?
Yes.
I think they brought.
Going to libraries, there was a lot of, but they were also asking a lot of people who were involved if we could
Spread the word.
Spread the word.
Yeah.
So
Do they have a poster? Do
they're doing a
They already
poster.
have, say the date.
Yes,
They just come
they're
out.
doing it.
I'll just be right back.
I think they're putting about two weekly these same things, and then or you can just print them out, and they just asked if everybody can take them to their library, take them to their.
That's great.
Okay. So guys, we'll send out what we get from On Bida in terms of the advertising for the conference in November. And if you can use your networks to send it out to as many people as possible, that would be fantastic. Okay?
We'll sell out.
Yeah. Last year we had, at the conference that we had 250 people signed up, and then we packed it. I mean, that was a pretty, and we didn't think we would do that.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
They did, by the way, they did bring up about advertising at the tutoring outfits like Sylvan and Kumon and whatnot, of trying to get information either there or getting something stuck up in the lobby, whatever, to try and target those people, or the parents.
Around electronically getting that out, like online, that might be helpful. Like, I mean, pretty well, you have someone at your school, but also to Fiona and Janice, if you don't mind. Yeah.
But the other thing I would say is there's two things. I see Go Mothers Online. There's all kinds of tactics.
Oh, Oakville Moms Chat, something, or Mississauga.
They're the most influential advertisers because they're seen like as reputable, as strong opinions, not just someone.
Who's that?
The Oakville Mothers Group.
So,
okay, yep.
The community has like a Facebook page that is for moms or dads. Might be some for dads too, but I know for sure in Oakville we've got one called Oakville's Mommies Chat, which honestly everyone goes to for everything. Like if you need a plumber, they go, okay, can someone recommend a plumber? Boom, you've got one. Or that's how we. The person who did the documents for the last conference. That's how the graphic designer. I was like, anyone interested in doing some graphic design? Boom. Quick and cheap and easy. So if you can find that in your neighborhood and pass that information out, that would be an easy way to get it.
That'd be great.
Like wildfire, people are on it every day except for Bible. So the other thing on everything from everything. So, and you can be sure they'll be reading on that. So the other thing I would say is I joined, like I didn't really need to join anything else, but I did. I joined the Halton Poverty Group because I really see literacy and poverty as linked. But beyond that, one of the biggest philanthropists in this province, recognized by the Canadian government, has a language thing called hippie. I think it's called hippie. And what she goes after, her name's June Cockwell. And so she's part of the Halton Poverty, but hippie is about early language and reading.
Okay.
Take a look, if you want to look that up, and looking up June Cockwell, I really think we need to get, that's why I joined Halton Poverty, because I see literacy as part of the systemic issue. And she's got her two foundations, but one of them is about early readers. And I'm telling you, if we get her on our side, this woman obviously opens doors because she is a huge donator to everything. The hospital, everything.
What's her last name?
Cockwell.
Cockwell. Okay.
Still, why I think she is really a pivotal figure because she's an educator herself. She was the head of St. Mildred's.
You know what I would say is, I mean, it's interesting to come back to what you, Larka and Monica said about, You know, maybe what we need to do is to go outside of the school board and figure out how to fix this problem. And we've talked about this a lot over the last couple of years. That it really, in some ways, needs to be a charitable organization that will address the issue by training teachers and showing how it can be done. You know, and so I mean, I think we have to park this for this meeting, but I think that's another. It comes back to us all the time. The schools haven't done it for 40 years.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
not.
Are we going to wait for another 40 years to do that? Like, really, honestly. So if
Government's gonna change and it's going to, yeah. So, I mean, I don't know that the government will, but like, part of the issues that I'm dealing with are the rules that Harper brought in. Harper put a lot of restrictions on discretionary pieces.
Yeah.
Then the government changes and you're dealing with, like, I can assure you there's way too much politics in the board.
and the unions.
Yeah.
Unions, right? Like unions come into play as well. But let's so let's park that though for another time, and I'm going to make note of that.
Yeah. Okay.
I can't emphasize it enough. This woman opened doors, and she has an early reading foundation.
Yeah, that would be a good meeting, Annette, if we just had another meeting around some strategies and looking. And, you know, I appreciate the conversation. And I think this, you know, we don't drop the school boards, but maybe we just start barraging at all angles.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yep.
I
Okay.
love meeting with you guys because I love this conversation. It always brings us to like a new direction of thinking. And anyway, I just need to say that to you guys because it was just, you know, anyway.
Okay.
Just the other thing, because I think it's actually really current. The book, The Renaissance Man, is out, and the movie will come out. The Renaissance Man, Leonardo DiCaprio. Now,
Sorry, Elaine, I can't hear you.
I think one of the things that's really current right now, and the book that's out on the bestseller, is The Renaissance Man, which is about Leonardo da Vinci. Oh. And it will come out. It's in to be a movie, played by Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
And one of the things they say about this man was his ability. He was dyslexic, so what made him great was his ability to develop other skills. But he was dyslexic. I mean, and then they talk about the incredible mind because he brought art and science together. We are talking about a dyslexic, brilliant man. That because of his dyslexia, the creativity, I mean, we are talking about dyslexia, and I really think there's this really great synergy in that, in bringing that New York bestseller out. And one of the things they said, he died in a noble pursuit. They said he would not separate art and science. If you was it art or science, he said he wouldn't. And that is a dyslexic mind.
Yeah.
I think we really need to sort of really harness these pieces that are so current and are going to be blockbusters too.
So you're thinking maybe an opportunity for like a movie night or something like that? Is that what you're thinking?
Well, I think that yes, and I'm also thinking about like this whole like using that movie
jumping point.
Yeah, as a platform.
Okay.
You know that DiCaprio himself is very big culture of issues. He believes in it. He enjoys
If you have connections, try working them and see what we can do. Can we put that?
They're talking about, he's getting a lot of platform in discussion. This book is getting a lot of platform, and I think on TV, it's everywhere, because they're looking at the brilliance of Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah.
And I mean, the fact that it's on the New York bestseller.
Okay, we'll put it on. How about
Yeah.
we'll put it on Facebook?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. About that and highlighting the fact that he was dyslexic. But if there's anything that you guys see, then let's talk about it and run with it.
Okay.
Last thing I want to go through in terms of activities for 2018 is the Dyslexia Awareness Month. We thought that it would be a good idea to run the student event. Karen Russell raised $600 which is very kind of her to offer. Through a fundraiser, she just had a gathering at her house, and she wanted it to be spent on children and a fun experience for the children.
Yeah.
So,
Fabulous.
yeah.
So sweet.
So we thought maybe since we need to have time to plan it. October as Dyslexia Awareness Month, it might be a good time to do it then. So we need a couple of people to get together to think about what would be the best thing to do, who might be interested in organizing it. I mean, it could be as basic as she suggested, a day at the movies, a free day at the movies for kids with dyslexia. Or, one of the things I thought is like a space like this where there are multiple ways to do different things. You go do an art class or woodworking.
Pottery and art and whatnot.
Whatever, play basketball, a space where there's multiple things to do, like have 3 rotating things and then a gathering at lunch or something like that. It doesn't have to be outrageous, but if someone's interested in organizing something like that, that would be awesome, and we'll just post it because we talk a lot, but we don't get kids involved a lot, and we can do that.
Yeah, so they can meet each other and see that there is other kids going through what they're going through, and a chance to have some fun and chat.
Yeah, what we want to do, because we sort of now have our little, we have our students, and we often have 5 of us in tutoring, and the kids all break together. What we want to do to fundraise for DDON is to have like a game-a-thon afternoon where the kids are all going to come and we'll play Barton games or whatever we decide to do, because we're always playing games within the hour sessions that we work with the kids. So that's something we want to do to help fundraise. And the other thing is we have a gumball machine that I haven't got working yet, but all the proceeds from that, it's just a quarter, are also going to go to DDON. So, and we're going to continually, maybe a couple times a year do this game-a-thon, where the kids not go out and raise money. Parents give them, say, $20 to participate, and everything will go to DDON. So I'm sure we'll come up with some other stuff, but the kids really, we've got such a great little group of kids, and they're all buddies now, and they want to play games, and so that's what we'll be doing. Yeah, it's lots of fun. So we'll keep you posted on that. And send the checks to Janice. Who's the do we have it, or how does that all
I'm the secretary treasurer right now, Monica.
Okay. All right.
But Janice and I both have deposits.
Okay. All right. So, yeah, no worries.
I'm dealing with a guy named Mike, I think it is, but I can't remember Mike. But there's also a company called Venture Works, and I think one of the things that would be neat if you brought these children together is that you really had a directional leader on it, where they kind of had team building and empowering kind of activities, and then the message, because they kind of allow for icebreakers, especially if you're bringing them from different places and out their own room. Yeah. So you don't kind of make it about dyslexia, you make it about the
having fun.
And having fun. Yeah. And you've got someone who knows how to organize that, and then you kind of, that's about, I think, building relationship first, that you're not alone. Here we are. And we're not talking, almost really not talking about dyslexia, we're talking about creativity or something, leadership. So there are companies, one of them is called Venture Works.
Sorry, Venture
Works.
Venture Works, okay.
They're really, some of them are thought highly of, some are not, but I'm dealing with that, like, he knows a lot about.
The other opportunity I will let you know about is that I had a conversation with Dean Bragonier from Noticeability in Boston, because I saw him last week. And he is very serious about coming to Canada. He wants to start it up in Toronto. We need to talk about this afterwards. But so essentially what they do is they train teachers in one-on-one training. They can do it via, they train teachers to deliver an after-school program based on the strengths of dyslexic minds. So there's, and they worked with the Harvard School of Education to develop this curriculum, and it's pretty successful. So they offer art, engineering, robotics, and architecture, and that kind of stuff. And so they have a fun after-school program where I guess 3 to 5 teachers, depending on how many kids you've got, are involved, and they teach this curriculum. That if they're going to be here by that time, that might be a time to introduce that as well. But like I said, we're funding, but it might be a way to introduce or to happen during October Dyslexia Awareness. I'm literally talking with him next week again because he wants. His name's Dean Bregonier, and it's noticeability. And the nice thing is, it's about strengths. It's not about deficits.
Yeah.
And in many ways, and so what they do is they teach the teachers who are running the curriculum. They teach them all about how to teach students with dyslexia. And these are teachers who would, be in a classroom on a regular basis, but wouldn't know so much about dyslexia. So then all of a sudden they have this whole new thinking about kids who are dyslexic as not having deficits, but being creative and amazing. So it's kind of that's another thing that we can think about. But so Shirley said that you'd be on okay. Anyone else interested in being on a committee for a children's event? Anyone? Shirley, I can talk. I'm happy to help you too.
I'm happy, but I'm afraid to commit to a committee, but I'm certainly willing to help you all have
Okay.
I'm afraid to commit to.
Okay. Well, you use it for your contacts. Okay.
Okay.
Oh. So Shirley, Annette, Eileen is a contact, and Fiona, we're happy to help. So we'll work on that. Okay. So what we. Okay. So we're going to move on to number 3. What do we want to accomplish in 2018? And when we were talking about what we've been noticing over the last little while is that we're struggling to keep people involved. Like some people will say they want to be involved. We've got a couple of board members who sometimes often don't show up. And we really need to somehow get the word out there more about what Decoding Dyslexia does and how we can help. And be more effective at the message of we need to talk about dyslexia. Teachers need to be trained. Like the entire message of Decoding Dyslexia is so that push can come from below, like from parents and families, and that MPPs and MPs can't say the things that they're saying, because we've got the message to them that our kids are deserving of the education that's in the public system, and we need to teach them the way they need to learn. Like it's the public education system, for God's sakes. If our taxes are going there, why is it that our kids cannot learn to read in a classroom? That's ridiculous. So
absolutely. Exactly.
Yeah.
Here.
Listen,
Yep.
we can, what if I say, you have to jump ahead because they're not paying attention to this. They're all about math.
Okay. Yeah, we know that. They actually told us that they're going at literacy through the math strategy, which makes zero sense to me, but that's okay. That's what the ministry told me. Yeah. So our biggest issue is getting information out and how to connect with parents across Ontario because it's a massive space, right? So when Janice and I were at the IDA conference in Atlanta, Decoding Dyslexia had a panel of speakers from all across, like the most kind of successful Decoding Dyslexias across the US. And Decoding Dyslexia Connecticut is pretty much run by one woman, Alison Quirin. And she set up this approach to connecting with people all over the state. It's amazing. And she showed us how it worked. She said she had a few contacts in a couple of towns. And she sent them information and she asked them to connect with other people in other towns. And what she did was she showed us by us standing up, like we had one person at each table, and then she asked us to share something with one person at the table. Then that person had to stand up. I think that's how it went, something like that, right, Janice?
I wasn't there for that one.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, but doing it that way, she'd be able to show the impact.
Right. By the end of it, 3/4 of the room are standing, right? And so it really was an amazing approach to disseminating information. So, thank you.
Getting involved.
Yeah. And so what I did, I sent out that document, and I'm sorry, Cheryl, we didn't get that to you. If I'd known you were on, I would have sent it to your email as well. I'll send it to you afterwards. It's just an example of what they have on their website. Ours is coming, by the way. It's very close. But the example of how Decoding Dyslexia used the power of the numbers to increase the reach and get the message out. They created this network of town contacts. So they asked people to say, would you be willing to be a town contact? You don't really need to do anything other than to know our basic talking points. So if we give our basic mission of what we're asking for, know a little bit about dyslexia. If we gave a one-pager on dyslexia, that would be all they'd have to know. And any kind of notifications that we want to get out to people in different parts of Ontario, get to MPPs, local school trustees, that you could send a document to them through the town contact. And so what they do is they have a special notice. Connecticut residents, please register, if you haven't already done so, to help out as Dakota Dyslexia Town Contact. You'll help raise dyslexia awareness by reaching out as a constituent to your legislatures, which we need to do. We haven't done that. We really need to start saying to MPPs, this is a massive issue, and you have to understand that.
Yeah. Did you do that with the
That's a good idea.
Yeah. We did. They ignore it. Like, you almost have to get an in-person meeting.
Yeah. And I think it's got to be ongoing, right?
Yeah.
It could be like, quarterly. You're just growing, at some point they can't ignore you, right? It's like, drip, 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 maybe will make a difference. But one poster, one post.
They can ignore it.
I think it's a class action lawsuit. I know when I hired the superintendent, one of the superintendents to our position, she said a class action lawsuit they pay attention to because they don't have the
So either way, whatever we're doing, the thing that's what we need to do is make that spread ourselves across Ontario through a network of town contacts. And so if it comes to that, we can get information to people about the fact that there's a class action lawsuit.
Right.
If there's, for instance, a new report, well, it's not a new report, a report came out from the Community Living Association that is damning about what's going on in our schools, about like huge numbers of kids are being asked to stay home. Yeah. I mean, there's other things. I know you had some concern about some of it, but
Skippy, stay home for EQAO testing. So of course their testing doesn't hurt their numbers and all kinds of things.
But if there's necessary information that has to go out there, like there's a human rights case, or we have action that we want them to take, that's the way you can do it.
It would, I mean, the fact that we're getting information out to people, when it does come to the class action suit or something, it's like, we've been trying. It's right. I mean, you have to kind of mitigate, like the legal stuff, right? You can't just go straight to a lawsuit, right? We're trying to talk to, and if we can show, we've got this network of 100 people in different communities, and we've been trying to talk to the MPs and the MPPs and the school boards, and they're all ignoring us. Here, this is, we've tried, it's not working, it's a lawsuit. Yeah, right?
Yeah.
So you're talking about the method of pushing information out there and a process of, so instead of having a passive website, I'm talking the truth on my end.
Yes, you're right.
So you have a passive website that sits there and people go to it.
Yes.
An actual form of like nudging,
pushing information,
and nudging the notification.
But isn't that? Aren't you doing that on the Facebook page?
No,
somewhat, but not always.
No, but it's not.
We get very little response.
Out to Facebook, you have to go and engage.
Right.
So what we need is a like a notification on your phone. Do you want to be notified or not? Well, this is just a notification to get.
But also, it's more than that. It's also asking people to be a contact in their center.
Yeah.
So it's asking people to say, yes, I'm interested. My child, it obviously it's not going to be someone who's just going to sit there and not do anything. You have to commit that if you want to be involved, that when we send you that you will send it on to your MPP. Like we could say, this is who we're looking for. These are the kind of people we're looking for. If it's someone, if you have a connection with your local school trustees, or you want to sit on your SEAC or whatever else, that we need someone in your community so you can take the information we're giving you so that we can get that information out there, right? The problem is, we've just heard from Mark and Monica and Lark. Oh my gosh. You guys, I'm calling you Mark and Lonica. Can you believe that? I don't know.
I get Mark a lot, actually. You would be surprised.
I'm going to call you that from now. Hi, Lonica.
Mark. That's Mark.
Anyway, I mean, what you're saying is like there's people who have absolute misinformation because we're not getting it out there. I mean, and ONVIDA's not doing that. Dyslexia Canada's not doing that. We honestly are the parents who can do that if we set up our system properly. I do have a question.
Your Facebook page is really good at the content. So I'm kind of surprised that's not working. And I get what you're saying as opposed to, that it's like you have to go there to it being pushed out.
Well,
but I'm just surprised you said that there's not a lot of visitors, or there's not a
There
lot
are, but we don't get, people don't act. People passively accept what's on the Facebook page.
Yeah, okay.
There's a
You
few of
use
us.
it.
I would say there's about maybe 20 that come in and out and make comments here and there.
Okay.
But there's many who make comment who do nothing else other than make comment on that Facebook page. So they'll say, this is my child's experience. Boop, that's where it lands, right?
Yeah.
So if people are asked to do something, actually physically get up and take a piece of paper, print it off. That's all you gotta do. Print it off and take it to your MPP's office.
put
Deliver
it up in your library. Or,
Yeah,
that's
it.
it. I mean,
Give
all
them
sorts
something
of-
to do.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I think people, again, if you tell them what to do, they'll do it.
Yes.
And they want to be
It has
involved.
to be simple though, right?
Yes.
So
wait, what about
exactly. Pre-digested, right?
Yeah.
And then again, if there's someone who wants to go a little further, well then join us at our meetings and get more involved. But we're not asking for a lot, but just be the contact.
Yeah.
And
let us know
and
what's going on in your
you-
community too, right? I mean,
take
it's
it or leave it, right? I mean, if you're too busy, you're not going to do it that month. But if something your eye, you do it. And when you run into someone else in the neighboring community, hey, will you? They need contacts. So you're in Springwater. Can you be the Springwater contact? I'll be the Tay Township contact. And just slowly, and then they can.
It's shocking
grow it
how
from
it's
there,
spread
right?
in Connecticut. Yeah.
So do they have a website as their base?
Yes.
And then that's got
Decoding Dyslexia.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, so then what were you guys saying about our website?
So our website is coming, so I can
It's been
show
coming
you
for
forever.
She was on a documentary too.
I just sent it.
What did you just
I just sent it to, so I just got it on Friday, the basic look of it with a lot of the content in it. But no, we're talking about our website. So, and on that website, what I would say is you would have something like this, like do you want to be a Dakota Dyslexia Ontario town contact? And it would link to something that they can then submit.
Yeah.
They put their name in, and that's how we gather that listing, right? So we keep
and then those people,
record
once
that.
monthly, we'll have to decide, right? Monthly, quarterly, whatever. You send them out. Here, put this up in your library, or send this to your MPs, or
has to be a lot of clicking here to send to
yes, basic. Like I think maybe your idea is
right?
Simple,
Yeah.
right?
Yes.
But
well, again, someone's going to have to manage that to decide, what goes out. But again, we're,
that can be
between the
done
website
remotely.
and that.
It's not hard.
It's
like I could do that from New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like honestly, it wouldn't be that hard to do that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But or anyone else.
We need the website to be
right.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? And then
and so that is very like literally. So we had a photographer take pictures of a number of our kids. Those are on there. I'm just like just getting the the permissions to use photographs and stuff. So, but it's done. We're cross-referencing everything and adding some extra pictures and pretty much all the content's there for the website. And then we're just Anne and Janice and myself are taking a look at it. Anyone else?
Yep.
Take a look at
I
it.
saw it the other day. There was something up there.
There is something up there.
That's Janice created something very small
Yeah.
originally. I can show you if you want. Yeah, you guys can see from far
That's
away.
just the blog, though. That's
Yeah,
not.
the blog.
Is it?
Yeah.
There was something that was WordPress.
That's Janice. Janice created that.
No, Fiona, when you saw it, was that like with pictures of the kids on it and whatnot?
No.
No, there wasn't.
No.
There was, because it was when I started jumping back into all the emails, and I wanted to see this the video thing that you were talking about presenting.
Oh, okay.
I jumped on there, and there was a link to it from there.
Those videos will be on the website as well. You'll see it.
Oh, okay, and that's the.
I'll send it out to everyone if you want to take a look at it. Just the link, and if you have comments on it, let us know. So you can,
this is it Dyslexia Ontario.
you won't have it yet because it's just been given to me from the. I'll show you at the end.
Then who's Dyslexia Ontario?
Oh, that's Keith Gray.
No, I know what that is. See?
Oh, is that?
I just
okay.
Here's the Decoding Dyslexia Ontario. I don't know what the N stands for. It's also a bit of a problem for people to find it, right? Like people are going to go to dyslexia and then go to Dyslexia Ontario. So I'm just like, right? So I'm a little
No,
bit like,
you know what this is? That's Davis dyslexia.
Oh, really?
Davis comes up.
Davis Dyslexia.
And they have Dyslexia Ontario?
Yes.
Wow.
They find a lot of people.
Others?
I mean,
Yeah.
they can provide a little bit.
I'll tell you a little bit after
goodness
that.
for a
So,
lot of money.
in addition to that, I think what we can learn from Connecticut is they also have a huge, I mean, their website is not very great, but they have a whole section on what you can do right now to help.
Yeah.
You know, the first thing is sign up as a Decoding Dyslexia Connecticut town contact. That's what we can do too.
I would just borrow so much from them, and I don't
Yeah.
think would
Steal with pride, right?
argue.
Oh, they'd be happy to do that.
They
Yeah.
would
Oh, yeah.
There's no
imitation.
So you'll see
don't
it.
reinvent the wheel, right?
Take a look at that document I sent this morning. It's just a brilliant information grab from their website. And you can see that.
Just going to
So that's what we want to do. If you guys can help in any way, we'll put something together in terms of, you know, an email around that. We can do that about what a group, like define what a group contact is. Okay. And then I'll make sure it gets onto the website. So we have a section where people can sign up and subscribe and all that sort of thing. And then if you guys can help us get that out around your area, that would be really helpful.
Now start the ball rolling.
Yeah. That's and then it will be about content, about the things that, you know, if you find information in your area that needs to go out, let us know. We'll create a blast, an information blast, right? And then send it out. That sort of thing. But also I think it's important, you know, as we come up to an election to say, ask about what schools are doing for students with dyslexia.
Yeah.
Say the word dyslexia.
Get the candidates
Dyslexia learning.
you know, that's spreading awareness, right? They're coming up.
I do
Say
that.
dyslexia. Yeah.
I totally do.
Welcome them in. I'm going to give you a lecture on dyslexia.
Kathleen Wynn is going to be here in Windsor next week. Guess who's going to be there?
That's good, Katrina. I would like to see. I like to be a fly on the wall for that one, actually.
Yeah.
Because when we sent her an email, she sent it off to Mitzi Hunter, and we got not an email, an open letter. We got no response from her.
I found decoding dyslexia.
She said it wasn't her issue to deal with.
Yeah, she always pawns it off on the education minister. Like,
and then they just changed the education minister because they don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, they just pawn
well,
you off.
I told people, I said, I'm sure Mitzi Hunter has already given my picture to the new Minister of Education, so she knows when I'm coming.
Wear a wig.
She can see me coming.
Maybe. I mean, here's the other thing. Given that there is an upcoming election, maybe we invite them to a meeting with all of us.
Oh, yeah.
Literally all of us, like all of us who are sitting here right now. That's a big enough group to invite, and the new education ministers from Halton.
Oh,
yeah.
We have to make it an education, a political issue right now, because they'll pick it up and it's going to get more press, right?
Well, and we also
So let them use it.
We also talked about doing up a document or like a card that people can ask questions of their candidates as they go door to door looking for the votes. You know, hi, okay, you're looking for my vote. Are you aware of dyslexia? And give them some stats or whatever, and see what sort of response you get from them. Because
that would be awesome.
Great idea.
If you get people from all over, well, as much as we can, all over Ontario asking questions, you know, it'll get somebody's attention.
Okay. Janice, do you want to write that up?
Sure.
Okay, you're on it.
Okay.
Share that, and I mean that could be an easy blast out on something like a network like that.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. So, any other ideas around that, or thoughts around increasing the reach through a network like that?
Parking. You probably have a parking ticket.
Do you like the idea? Do you hate the idea?
I love the idea.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
I love the idea too.
Yeah,
Okay.
No, I think it's hugely valuable just to get out there. Just from my experience, I found when I was, sort of new to it, I was fumbling. I just didn't know where to go. I just didn't know, there seemed to be nothing out there that would grab hold. And if you're already out there, or you're doing it. And also, you know, I think it's also hugely valuable when we talk about all the kids learning that they're not to learn. I think,
Yes.
you know, us,
I think
it's hugely valuable to
I
learn
think,
that you're not
and I
as
think
well.
as long as the message is like, you don't have to be a dyslexia expert. We're going to help you.
Right.
Like, just sign up, help us. You'll be part of this network. And I think parents are all wanting to not feel alone, right?
Yeah.
And maybe, you know, end up, we were talking about that mother's chat thing, right? Like to
Yes.
turn it into a network of like where you can, you
Go
know,
to.
go to and
All models, that's one of the proud mother moment, but there are successful models out there. Julia, who's my dyslexic daughter, just got early acceptance with a scholarship to Ottawa.
University of Ottawa?
Whoa,
good for her.
She's dyslexic. And you know what she said to me? She said, Mom, I gotta give you credit for not selling me short. Without all that tutoring, I'd probably be a I do. It's powerful stuff. For her to say that, thank you for not, Mom, I gotta give you credit for not selling me short.
Yeah.
because the
She is
schools
awesome.
all are, right?
Yeah. Yeah. That's wonderful. That's good.
She was like jumping up and down and
I'm
couldn't
so
believe it.
happy.
We were just happy to see accepted. And then we
Can you just congratulate
Yes.
from us? And like, I'm so happy to hear that.
But those are the kinds of things we could put on our website too, like a banner, like, "Hey, congratulations to our Julia, to our Victoria, to you know all these kids who are like have worked hard."
And they can say, I mean, even when we went to the psychologist at the hospital, the psychologist said, so how do you feel about your disability? And she said, well, I don't have a disability, I have a difference. I just have to work harder. Just to be that advocate and to know and to give these children the language to advocate for themselves is amazing. And I'm proud of her, but it's her work. She did it.
Yes.
She did it.
So I think this kind of network, like what you're saying, a network like that cannot just be about encouraging people to take action. It could be getting information, like basic information out to people on dyslexia. It could be, hey, here, listen, these are some success stories. You just need to know about these as well, right?
Yeah.
Hey, here's the way to connect. Take a look at this. So it's getting that information out there for people who wouldn't necessarily passively find it on their own, right? So I think, are you going to say something, Launica?
Yeah, just that, like, I kind of stepped out for a sec because I forgot that I didn't pay for my parking and was trying to see if I got a parking
That's not
ticket.
good.
But we just started a little wall just outside, like our little hallway. And we're, just putting pictures up of all the kids. This is a cute one of Lark and Leo, who's a little genius. But yeah, as they're completing, you know, their certificates, or just, we've got pictures of them playing games, or, so we've kind of got, I want to come up with like a little, like doing the Barton, or just like a little quirky thing, but it's going to be, our whole hallway is going to be full of our kids and their success. So that's just awesome.
Oh, excellent.
Another little tidbit. Yeah.
So good. So when we were talking about that network, we were talking also about membership. Like, how do we illustrate that we are a large enough body to warrant a government to pay attention to us? How do you, and go ahead.
Yeah,
Rita,
no, I think this, like, if you have the commitment to sign up to be your town, and again, we could have 100 people from Halton, right? We could have, 2,000 people in Toronto be our town contact. But if you've signed up for that, like, you're showing a certain amount of commitment, so, I mean, that's going to help, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is it warranted then to have, would you like to be an official member of Decoding Dyslexia Ontario? No, I would say listed as. We talked about like charging for memberships and stuff, but it is really awkward to do that. And actually in the US, they suggest don't do that. Because, I mean, really, if you're going to put money into anything, you're going to put money into teaching your kid to read, right? We don't want people to do that. So we can figure out that. But does that, like, would you want to say you're a member of Decoding Dyslexia Ontario?
Yes.
Like as a listed member?
So you know what? How about like on the website, there's sort of like a, here, just sign up as, like, just, become a member. It's free.
Yeah.
Right. And then takes you through there. Hey, you want to be a member. How about you be a town contact? Then you get a little proactive, and here's what, so you have sort of levels of membership, right? You can just be, and then do you want to be, will you accept emails monthly, weekly, quarterly?
Do you get anything for your membership? So there's understood,
Yes.
And they send out an info, just something every month. They'll send something out. But not only is that information useful to me, sometimes it isn't, right? Sometimes I won't even read it because it doesn't pertain to me. But it just reminds me all the time that organized.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. And so it's another push, nudging people just to remind them that you're there.
Okay.
So, Annette?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, I'm gonna put it on mute for a minute. I gotta book some transportation for Victoria from the airport.
Okay.
So just carry on, I'll be back shortly.
Okay. So we have to figure out what kind of extra information
You have wonderful information on the Facebook page. I think if you pump that out, it's relevant, it's interesting, it's like helpful.
Yeah.
I would take like that content.
Yeah. I mean, it'll be much the same, right? Put it on Facebook, and it goes,
if you're signed up as a member,
if you want
that.
And again, I mean, the whole spam laws and everything, you have to get buy-in to be able to send someone an email, right? But
that's the sign up thing, right? That you mentioned. So then you'll get it.
I mean, sign up just to be a member, and then do you want to go that extra bit?
Maybe we can talk to Anvita. We can ask about discounted access to their conference, like a 10% discount or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That might be the best way to do with that. And then we just give them a donation if we can figure that out. Do the donation from Dakota Dyslexia Ontario. Or we give a lot of people power to that conference. A lot.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that might be. Oh, let me talk to Anvita about that. Trying to think of what else.
Do we even? Well, I don't know if we need to offer a discount.
Yeah. Well,
do we need that? We're going to be giving you information.
Or what about
part of a network
or early access to events? Like if we, early notification of events. So first come. That kind of thing. I'm thinking if we have a children's event, right?
Yeah.
So members will get early notifications so they can sign up as quickly.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
That makes it.
Because I'm trying to think of things that are simple, cheap, that don't, that people would want to have access to.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And I think sometimes it needs to be no more complicated than just information.
Yes.
Did you know that there's this study that's just been published, or this is happening somewhere else? So it's just a point of information. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm just
tips, right? Because it's I think your kid's gonna go up and down through the education system, right? And it's just sort of tips on, now they've hit this wall in grade 6 in math. Here's something that could help. Right? And that's the stuff that's on the Facebook page too.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Okay, that's good.
I don't know if people want a discount to a conference or they just want information to help their kids.
I agree.
Right? And then maybe success stories too.
Yeah.
Right? All the stuff, how all our kids are doing now. Because it's if you're at the beginning of the process, you're so scared it's so awful. Showing that end result, right?
Yeah.
And that's, you come back for that, right?
Yeah.
So if anyone's interested, just so you know, we have a My Story kind of section on our website that I know Victoria's going to submit, Xavier, my son's going to submit. I think potentially Sarah Habibi Williams is going to submit as well. If anyone wants to have their child's story on the website, let me know. We just have to have you sign a permission to share your story, which I can send you if you want. But let us know. Sorry? Go ahead, whoever was speaking.
Oh, no, I was just saying, I'll probably have Kaylin as well, and now Kara, who is just diagnosed as well, my youngest. So,
hey, welcome to the club.
Yay!
The nice thing is, at least if you've got more than one, you know what to do, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
The third one benefits in my household. Anyway.
Yeah.
You know what, Monica? I'll send you the
perfect. Yeah.
Document that you can sign off on. Then, okay.
Awesome. Yeah.
I'll send it out to everyone. Okay. Oh, I think I did. This morning I did to everyone. Yeah. So if you want to, it just says, if you want to put together a little story, it's like a 2 paragraphs, your child's story. And really the emphasis is on, more than the deficit. It's, these are my strengths, whether they're because of dyslexia or otherwise, but this is who I am. And like, dyslexia didn't stop me, or I'm awesome because I can do this because I'm dyslexic or whatever,
That's my son's dyslexic son's thesis project.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where is he? He graduated Humber.
Yeah.
Industrial design. And
Okay. Okay. Sorry, we've got a few offside. It's okay. Offside conversations, but the last thing we got to. Okay. Can we? Sorry, guys. We're at 2:41. We're hoping to get through this earlier than by 4 o'clock, and then you can have your after conversations. But last thing we want to talk about is funding our activities. So it's a little hard.
I haven't had any luck. I was trying to use my house for location scouting, but I haven't had any luck.
It's very hard. I mean, I think that a lot of the things that we're doing this year, we don't need a ton of money, but I'm going to tell you right now, we don't have a lot of money in the account. So I think we have maybe $900 in the account right now. So, and then because
does that include the 600?
It does. So initially, because we had to pay for Reading for the Love of It, which is $900 to have a table there. But Bida is giving us back half of that, so we'll have over 1,000. But I mean, if anyone has basic ideas of fundraising, so we can. I mean, the challenge is going to be you need to keep the account full. That's going to be one thing. Reading for the Love of It, next year, if we want to keep going with it, it's $900 split between ourselves and Bida.
Yeah.
If we producing.
I want to jump in if you don't mind because it's about fundraising. All right, so the Lighthouse for Grieving Children, they're sending out their notification for their run. You can join this run and go under like they do it, but they're joining other causes too. They're all part of the run, but so Mercedes sponsors it. So here they are. They're getting ready for this one in June 2nd. So this is sort of the lead up time. But one of the people behind this, well, the person who did this, Joe Fallon is the one who started Lighthouse.
Oh yeah.
And we met just before Christmas, and she's been in Australia, and she wants to meet again. So she is the brainchild. She's on the TED Talks of the Lighthouse, and really just 2 days ago, she texted me to say, when are we meeting?
So what happens with this run?
So you can, I think if I send this to you, you can take a look. It just says, Dear Lighthouse people, we have different teams. Which team are you going to be on? So usually, like you say, it's a point of connection. I know Jen, you've met Jennifer too.
Yeah.
And are you going to be on my team? And then and then what happens afterwards is usually Jen on her team hosts like the tea, but they do a walk. And then I'll bring in children from like who want to do the run because you can walk it or you can run it. And they do a parent-child run, and they do a little kindergarten walk or whatever it is. But you can go in under this umbrella. They go in as Lighthouse, but there are other causes running that day, and they bring out the TV and they talk to people, and it starts at 6 o'clock.
You know what our big challenge? I think we could totally pull off a run. I think we could totally do that. We've been talking about that for a long time. The challenge is, what are we going to do with the money that we raise? Like we have to. I mean, yes, we have to keep ourselves going as a basic nonprofit. Yeah. But what are we going to, like when people donate money like that, you have to give out good information on a consistent basis or some kind of a service.
I think what we do is we follow the biggest model. She said to me, so how do you like this, what you become the biggest fundraising thing in town? And she said, Eileen, it took me 18 years though. And when it went big was when I stepped out of the way and I hired public awareness drawing money. And that's what we invited to that girl is retiring and
Well, I will tell you that Dyslexia Canada just did that. Dyslexia Canada finally hired someone to do the work that Elaine, Keenan, and I were doing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So not for a long time, but they hired someone for 25 hours a week to start doing all their admin stuff and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, you still have to be able to say we're a non-profit organization. Like we're getting information out to parents so that they can get. I mean, I think we need to do a little bit more than just sending information out to be able to justify hiring someone, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, raising that much money to be able to, like, what if you had $20,000 all of a sudden in our pocket because of a run? What are we doing with $20,000? For sure, but also then.
But this is my other thought is that so when I joined the Poverty Square, Round Square, because I was trying to connect the food garden and all these other pieces back to dyslexia and children being in nature and that kind of thing. Like you can't just bring them out and be dealing with their disability, which it is technically if they're struggling in school and falling behind. So so when I joined them, one of the things that I was thinking, and I think Decoding Dyslexia could do it too. So I have the REACH Foundation with our school, and my goal was to create the REACH Foundation and then to do arms. Like REACH is together with poverty and Halton Poverty. And why are they connected? Because literacy is a basic fundamental right and these children need it. So I started looking at REACH and how to connect. So for example, that's what I'm thinking we need to do with dyslexia, decoding dyslexia today. You can't just sort of operate in your, because if you operate together, people start catching the link. Oh, I get it. And this is where you need to go for that, or this is where you need to go. But trust me on this one fact, philanthropy comes from the same well. It's everybody in that same well giving to each other's cause.
It's true.
Because June, like I'm not only using June Cockwell, but you're talking about a very affluential town in Halton, and if this town can't pull together to make change, I mean, again, I would.
And Ottawa, everywhere has that, right?
But
a little center where.
For us, we're and Halton. Oh my gosh, if we can't, I mean, I think we're the place to start it because Halton's considered one of the best education systems. Like,
okay, well, I mean, I think that
it's the same well, and I think if we meet people, I think if they'll link the causes.
I think that honestly, I agree with you. Decoding Dyslexia is too isolated, and we're only working with our partners who are in dyslexia themselves. So we're only working with Dyslexia Canada and on VITA. And so in Vancouver, they're in BC, it's called Dyslexia BC now. It's no longer Decoding Dyslexia BC. She's kind of gone rogue on her own and does not associate with Decoding Dyslexia in the US anymore. Although she posts their stuff. But there's one in Manitoba, there's one in New Brunswick, and then there was supposed to be one in Nova Scotia. But, sorry, there's one in Nova Scotia, there's supposed to be one in New Brunswick and us. So there hasn't been pickup anywhere else, unfortunately. But I agree with you. We should go out and get on, roundtables like that, so that people know. I mean, actually, I asked Monica and Lark if they would go sit on the SEAC. So the nice thing is, being a nonprofit now, if you want to apply to be a member of SEAC in your area, you can do that because we're a nonprofit. Decoding Dyslexia as a provincial nonprofit.
Yeah, I think actually we're going to do that and be a representative and an alternate. We were looking at
the local association.
Yeah, because you have an opening. Like the Learning Disability Association isn't there, so you guys have an opening that you could fill.
Right. Yeah, and we have to apply for that, right?
Yes. Yeah, I sent you the link this past week. Yeah.
Yes, I printed out. I guess only two. Okay, but anyway, I have the email, so we'll get on that.
No, that's different. I mean, any of us can do that, FYI. No matter where you are, but that's different from connecting with other organizations that have cross-contaminating kind of issues. Like, I agree with you about the Poverty Roundtable. I mean, children's literacy is absolutely connected to that.
Absolutely, and also general learning disability. And how do you break the poverty cycle? Education
Teach them.
Huge.
Yeah.
Teach these children, and that's why I say, like, so what I'm hoping to do, like, I have that lucid chart that I have on the computer, and I think we really need to do that visual because there's so much overload of information to simplify. And
when our new build is done at the school, I'm going to have an office that has just like it will obviously be a functioning office, but the wall is going to be connected with Reach as our foundation. And who does it work with?
Yeah.
Because
We need that for decoding dyslexia, actually.
But that's what I think is really important, is that there's a visual of, it's not just about like an insular kind of thing. It's about going outside of yourself. And then what I'm hoping also to do is through that, like I have graduates, and one of the programs, I know it sounds tangential, but the Duke of Edinburgh, I wanted to sponsor that at our school. Now, Appleby College does it, right? But anybody can do the Duke of Edinburgh. It was actually created for prison people to redirect them in their life. And my thing is this, if we create our insular sort of system too, then we can start feeding our volunteer hours into, buddy readers and so forth. And out of it, they get their decoding dyslexia. Do you know how many parents just want to know, where do I sign up for these volunteer hours? And my thing is, if we put a little, a mirror, we're connected this different way. You can connect any way you want. But the bottom line is, we're also reaching the need in the youth group to connect their passions. And out of it, they get their Duke of Edinburgh award.
That's something you're saying for your school.
I'm thinking for everyone.
Okay.
I don't want to limit. Like my whole thing when we started this school, one of our vision missions was inclusivity. And when we face the challenge of people we can't help them, and we have to. That's our goal. Inclusivity. Any community is judged on how it treats its weakest members.
Of course. I think that maybe one of the things that we could do, there's so much we could do. It's really whittling down what we can, decoding dyslexia's biggest issue right now is making sure we have a good base of support and that we get the message out there so that people know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Then we have to figure out from there, what is it we're going to provide people beyond just information? One of the major things that we do is actually we field questions. We talk to people on the phone for hours at a time, helping them get their help for their children. It's a basic social work role, really. Janice and I do it a lot.
Yeah.
I volunteered with Karen to do that too, actually. She asked me if she gets parents coming in and she wants a reference.
Like a parent liaison,
What you did for me, what you did for me, what Elaine did for me, right? Like that.
Yeah, we do that all the time. And but beyond
that's
big. It is huge.
Work service is big, right?
It is really big, and it takes a long time.
Yeah. And the conference you had at Harborfront was also very helpful, right?
Yes.
So I know that you just think that information's not enough, but those two things are the biggest things, like a conference with a day of intense information, and then that peeling you off the ceiling, and here's where you're gonna get help. That is huge. I think
so. Maybe
you're right. It is huge.
Yeah. And I think that's the most helpful thing that we do.
Yeah, I agree. Yep. I think that's why we are doing. That's the whole point of decoding dyslexia. Yeah. Except that on top of that, it's advocacy at the provincial level to try to push, and we haven't been able to do as much of that. Partially because Dyslexia Canada has kind of whittled that part off for themselves to do.
We were hoping it would not be our thing, right?
Well, I think
take care of it.
I think it should be our thing, actually, because it's our stories that will change the way things are happening. But
we still need to lend our wisdom.
Yes.
I think the bigger the chorus, the more attention it will get.
Yeah.
And that's no small feat.
No.
It's the amount of time I know you all spend putting into that is huge. Yeah. So that is another thing that you can say that you're doing. You're fighting for your child's rights.
Right.
Yes. And that's a big line item.
Yeah.
Really.
Is there a plan to do another conference like the Harborfront one in Toronto?
So
was that your first one?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was our first.
Really good. It was amazing. Like if you're new to this, and there's like the lawyer there, the teacher there, the doctor there, the speech path there, it was incredible, And I was I told two other friends late, so they weren't able to come, but it was like that day alone was like, now I know everything that, and I've got a bigger picture. So if we plan to do that every 2 years, That's
every year.
Yeah, every year.
It's actually
every
not,
2
once you
years.
get it, once you have the plan for it, it's really not that hard to pull together. It's just getting the people to come and speak.
Yeah.
But it was combined with Onbida. We did it in combination. This year they want us to help them with their conference. I think
Even every other year.
Yeah.
Well, every year is probably better, right?
Yeah, well, because people need information every year. But if that's something that you think is what we do well, then
That was amazing.
okay.
That was huge. Yeah.
And then one-on-one support is what we do.
Yeah. What an
Well,
OG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
For
That's
me,
good.
my learning curve by being in this group has been amazing. So that's part of, like, it, again, but I'm coming here once a month, or, you know, we missed, I think, last month, but the point being is there's so much more. If we were to kind of get someone on it and answerable all the time. So, for example, when
That would be nice.
Lighthouse hired their person, that person has raised, I think they raised $4 million in 1 year. Like, it's phenomenal what they raised.
Mm-hmm.
So it's key. It's key to hire someone who, and Joe found to give us that direction of who she hired.
Yeah,
She
it's a
said
lot.
she had to get out of the
But
way.
that's not grassroots.
No,
anymore,
no,
right?
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
But you can do a lot. You
Yeah.
can do a lot.
Yeah.
You know, teach the teachers. I know
Yeah.
you've spoken about
Yeah.
this in the past, you know.
Yeah.
You know, can we teach more people to
yes.
Okay. What if we suggest, if people want to have a kind of a throughout the month kind of discussion about what is it we want to do with this organization beyond what we're currently doing, you know, that we would fundraise for. I almost think this could be a committee discussion that could come back to this working group meeting and ideas that we could vote on, you know, as a working group.
Yeah.
Because we could sit here for hours talking about what we want to do, but we need to really have, you know, some ideas beyond just spreading the network this year of what we want to do to make this organization as functional as possible for those that in Ontario.
And make it
Yes. And how do you fund? Well, how do you fund that?
I think we both, one of my ideas is to get Annette to do a TED Talk.
Yeah.
Let's get Annette
Not until I
doing a
lose
TED
30
Talk.
pounds.
No, I think that would be a really fabulous one. I think we need a TED Talk going on. But the other thing is that we could invite. I think you would be the best well-spoken person ever.
Weren't
So
Nashad
knowledgeable.
and Sean planning some TED Talk thing?
There's
like maybe 3 meetings ago, they were like, they want to do a dyslexia,
I love connecting. I haven't in a while,
dyslexia
but we
related
need to.
like TED conference.
Why
They
not?
were talking about that. I don't know.
okay.
Let's help them.
And
Because
also,
that would be huge, right?
Why
Annette
don't
could
I
talk.
invite Joe to? Sorry to overdo. Why don't I invite Joe Fallon to come to one of our meetings to explain her process of how she took Lighthouse from. If you get her TED Talk, and she'll tell her story, and that's what that's what gets people. She tells her story about grief and her childhood experience, and. I don't know if I told you guys this, but it's just a small, again, tangential. But I met her when I went to the Lighthouse for a thank you lunch. And I was busy for lunch, and Lord knows I don't need a lunch. But I knew it was important to go to this meeting. And when I did, she came up to me and she said, I saw your name on the list. And I said, pay attention. And I want to meet you afterwards. And I said, okay, that's interesting. And after the meeting, she said, don't go, we're going to have a coffee together. And I said, I had to run. And I said, okay, I have to go. She goes, well, coffee's not enough. I need a day. And then my joke was, when I came home, I don't even get a day with myself. Who wants to spend a day with me? I looked her up. I knew she was Lighthouse, whatever, but I looked her up. And that's when I watched her on TED Talk. And I asked her, she said, I think we just need that space to create together. So she is the lead to Lighthouse, and that's where my conversation started. Well, how did you make it so successful? And she said, Eileen, it was 18 years. And I got out of the way.
I mean, what I'm pulling from that is that, I love what you talked about in terms of what we're doing was really helpful for you. And I think for a lot of people, it could be that. So if we actually fundraise and support it a little bit more.
And advertise it more, just try to get the word out.
Yes,
Like it's,
but also think of ourselves as a growing organization, that grassroots is really critical as we are right now, and that's what we're doing to spread the news. But that we can have a future vision for something bigger, given what we've heard from Monica and Lark about the fact that the school system's not going to do anything. So maybe we think 5-10 years forward about a center that someone could, and it doesn't have to be big. Like I often drive, you know, like a small space where there's someone working and there's a copy machine, and I'm not running the chapters, photocopying for everyone and sending them, or creating those things myself out of my house. Yeah. But there's a, you know what I mean? So maybe that's what we do in terms of thinking 5 to 10 years forward.
And so that model on Lighthouse, they did build with their $4 million. There's a Lighthouse Grieving Center. June Cockwell's behind it. You can be sure she'll be at that breakfast. But their model is to create that lighthouse. They call it the lighthouse. I thought it was kind of neat, lighthouse, because that light idea, obviously.
In the dark,
and I think maybe we need an acronym a little like that too, beyond just decoding dyslexia. And so the house is called the Lighthouse for Grieving Children. And their model is to take that across Canada. So it wasn't just about let's create a lighthouse here. They want to create the lighthouses in every province. So maybe we need to sort of tie our little emblem to that, like create a whole thought process there of like what's, and that's what, when I went to Halton Poverty Roundtable, I wanted to make this other point. That is a very well organized group and obviously well supported. And they hired business strategists. And that was what I knew I would also look. We said, don't come forward without your business plan. Come forward. They have made it really clear. How do you want to get people on board? You don't just come forward with your idea. I can show you what literature I picked up, but they say make sure you have your vision and your business plan set up. And then your philanthropist will give you money.
So here's
sorry,
go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say maybe that's something to talk about another time.
I think that the idea is, it doesn't have to be exactly that idea, but there's what I'm hearing is a desire to move eventually to something.
Right, but we're not near that point yet to
go
for something so ambitious. So we got to concentrate on building our group first.
Right, absolutely. But what I'm suggesting, Janice, is that you have, like, if anyone wants to sit in a group around thinking forward, so that there can be some 5-10 year thinking, that might be an opportunity. Or even, I mean, because if you go and have a run or some kind of fundraising event, and you all of a sudden have $20,000 in your coffers, you've got to spend that on something. And that conference is not going to take up all that money.
No.
So what I would suggest is there should be a committee around planning. What do you want? What kind of activities can be funded that Decoding Dyslexia can contribute to the community of Ontario? You know, on the short term, like the next year, or like even the next 6 months, next year, next 3 years, 5 years, 10 years. Yeah. You know what I mean? So any interest in that?
We're asking you that. We're looking at you. I don't know if you can tell that we're all.
Are you okay with that?
Looking at who?
Looking at you. Looking at you. You're the chair, right? Are you okay with setting up a committee like that?
It's not something I could take on myself, but if somebody else is interested, sure.
Anyone interested in participating in a committee like that?
I would. Forward thinking.
Yeah, I'd definitely be the plan where to take it, even if it's around ideas.
I think that discussion, we need that. I mean, really, we need that discussion, right? I mean, again, the short term over the year to get, to build the network of people, but really,
If we want to send,
I think, Janice, you're absolutely 100% right. I think, there has to be like a focus on building the here and the now and solidifying that and growing roots there in Ontario. It's very new. So there needs to be some sort of solidifying of that position.
Yeah.
But I don't think that can
The end.
necessarily has to be at the, you know, sort of
I think
the lack of like moving forward.
The momentum forward does involve this.
Yeah. And I think, again, we've seen people come, we've seen people go. I think if we had more of a real vision, you know, people hook in and buy into the vision and really, because I get to the point, it's like, how many coffees do we sit and chat around? When's the change coming, right?
Yeah,
and I
for
mean,
sure.
we're doing fantastic stuff. I mean, nothing.
Yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I
you know,
get
we are. This is great. I come as much as I can. I participate as much as I. You know, let's get some legs on it to really, you know, like we're ready for that next level.
Well, visionary leadership is really, I think, key here because we don't have something tangible, but we want something tangible like a site. And the only way we're going to get there is to create the vision. And my one thing, and I'm not to make this personal, but I remember when the first part of the school, and honestly, I do really believe it's that field of dreams. If you really believe in something and you're passionate, people will come and join you. And that's one of the reasons why I have the Reach Foundation is I would not be that school today if a community hadn't come up to support me. And it was a shared value, shared vision. And that is the reality. That is the success of that school.
I think I have to note there hasn't been a definition of what the vision is that people want to do. We definitely want to expand the number of people that we reach. There's no definition of, say, a site necessarily. Eileen, I just want to make sure no, it's just one idea. And so that's why I'm suggesting a group of people come together beyond this monthly meeting to discuss what is it you want to do 3 years down the road, 5 years down the road. I don't want to be sitting here talking about how the government's not doing anything for our kids, even a year from now.
And I'll tell you what,
I just think that's a waste of time.
It's not, we have to create a model. I've been very convinced of that, and I have learned by being part of this group about structured word inquiry, about noticeability. I have so much more learning to do. But that's okay. That's the growth model, right? That we're all going to be learning, and we're going to be making the difference that we can today. But my thing is that, I mean, I find it very like the synergy or that whole piece that Joe Fallon would come to me, the head of the Lighthouse success story, and say, you and I need to talk. And I don't know why, but we're supposed to do something together. And I'm like, well, maybe the great clouds above are parting, and we have a real, I believe when you do something with an open heart and an earnest intention, like nature, it unfolds, and this has been a thing. So let's go with it. That's it. And I would love for you to talk to her too.
Yeah, I'm happy to do that. Are you okay with that, Janet? If like a Janice, sorry, not Janet.
That's okay. I answered them all.
Are you okay if we set up a committee just to talk about that offline and bring it back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
And Cheryl, if you're interested in being a part, anyone interested in being a part, let us know.
Okay.
I don't know if she can hear us. I'm wondering if she can.
Unmute.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah, if anyone's online, zooming in, and you want to be a part of that committee, let us know. Because then what I'll do is set up a time to Zoom together.
Yeah.
In the next 2 weeks, and we can have like an hour, 2-hour discussion, and then bring it back next month.
I'd like to.
Yeah.
If it's Zoom, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to travel.
Yeah.
Just
No.
like to stay like a little bit grassroots, talk to the people firsthand, and organize the children.
Yes.
Right.
Don't spread yourself thin.
Yeah.
And I mean,
No, I
not
don't
spread
think so
thin.
either. Yeah.
That's why I said
That's okay.
And there's a here and now, and there is 2, 3, 5 years down the road, and people have different desires.
Absolutely, yeah.
And
I mean, there's just a handful of us, and it's got it.
Yeah, you got it right. But you can't. I mean, it's really important in an organization not to stick with just what's happening right now, because we'll never grow.
Yeah.
Right, or we won't change things. And I think that what
I've been
Monica
involved
and
long
Lark are
enough that
saying.
I'm like ready to let's.
Yeah.
And I wasn't last year. Remember? I was like, not like just grassroots. Just leave me alone. Right?
Everyone has to come
And
to.
just, I just want it to be how it is, and now it's like, no, I'm ready to.
Because we've seen that in 3 years, they won't do anything. They just give you a wall. The government ministry doesn't want to even talk about it.
Yeah.
They're walking backwards.
Yeah.
Oh, anyway, so you're interested. You're interested. Okay. If anyone else is, let me know, and I'll send out an email, and we can set that Zoom meeting up in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. We can open it up to people.
Sorry?
Open it up to people who aren't like.
I would say let's keep it to the people. Yeah, for sure. People who've been involved in our meetings, but I wouldn't say
not
public.
abroad. Yeah, obviously, right.
Yeah, for sure. I'll send out the email and do that.
Yeah, to the sort of regular group.
Yeah. Okay. Any other business people want to bring up? Yeah. Monica and Lark, did you have something else?
No, not that I.
Thanks. Let me just check all my notes.
Just that we will apply for the SEAC, and that we'll continue to keep you updated as we meet and talk with more people and just see if there's any outcomes or what's being said.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fantastic.
I have one question. Association with Peel Region is without a COO. And
wow.
They ask and have asked me to spread the word if anybody is out there who is qualified or wants to take on the position.
What is it, learning?
Peel.
Peel Region.
They're in Brampton, aren't they?
Yeah.
So what was it that's happening in Peel?
The Learning Disabilities Association of Peel Region, which is based in Mississauga, is
right.
Out a CEO.
CEO or
CEO? Oh, okay.
And
learning disabilities. I googled it.
So I was quite friendly with the woman who was there, and she just simply disappeared, and nobody will talk about why she's gone.
Wow.
And I have asked directly, and nobody will tell me.
Wow.
So I don't know what circumstances she's left, but she is no longer there. And also I don't know whether it was on the website, but Brampton and now Learning Disabilities Appeal are also offering free psych.
Yeah, saw that.
For anybody, and it's supposedly Brampton-based kids, but it's also I think the lines are a bit fuzzy. So,
interesting. Well, clearly a psychologist has offered their assistance. That's awesome.
Doesn't York University does
that would be what
something
a center
too,
could do.
right?
A center could do that specifically for dyslexia.
seriously, I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's
My
fantastic.
sister is a professor.
This is
Okay.
I brought these up to her, so that
Yes.
York
Screen and then
University
if you need a
does
psych ed, we could
All right.
connect you to
That
a
might be
psychologist.
something
that would
worth
talk to you.
looking at the website. Janice, did you hear apparently York University is doing free assessments also?
my sister is a lecturer there, and I was bringing up the point to her to just to bring in this Orton Gillingham training into their 2-year teacher college program, and she said she was gonna put it on the platform because and word inquiry. But she said to me, York does assessments too, Eileen, and I don't know if it's free or like half the cost.
They're half price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Boise does it as well. Yeah,
Boise and York.
Boise and York will do it.
That's right. Yeah, they're cheaper, but they're not free.
They're cheaper. Yeah.
We're just mentioning maybe we should put that on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah. We refer parents. It's for people going through the psych department to do the assessment. So this is part of their training.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so half price, I think that helps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
So
let's make sure.
Should we put that on the website? Is that?
Yeah, we'll have to get the information on it to make sure we're telling people the right things. But yeah, I saw something about Oise a while back. They did it for maybe $1,000. It's been a while since I looked.
Yeah. There's also the sick kids reading genetics of reading disabilities study that my eldest qualified for. Unfortunately, my youngest didn't, because I was hoping to get that done and not have to fork out $4,000 for a private psychoeducational assessment, but she didn't meet the requirements. So I think the study has got another year or two, maybe just a year. They're still looking for 1,000 families. So you come out with a 5-page sort of, it is a psychoeducational assessment. Parents spend about 2 hours with Kirsten answering questions, and then the child does 2-3 hour sessions with the psychologist. And the only sort of glitch is that they have to draw blood. So we had to bribe, but that's because they're trying to link it right to
they look to the parent and the child. Yeah, we tried that, but our kids came to us by adoption, so they didn't call.
So you couldn't do exactly. I actually just met a parent today, and they adopted, and I gave her the sheet, and I'm like, wait, actually, you probably won't qualify because you've adopted. But for other families, it's definitely, they still need 1,000 families, so we could.
Yeah, we have put that up on Facebook before, so we can add that again.
Yeah, I can send it to you because I have it on my website and also on my Facebook page. And I'm just trying to get the word out so that they can finish up. And yeah. Okay, I'll do that now.
Anything else? Anyone else have any other business they want to share?
I mean, there's so much more we could, but I think this was a very fruitful meeting. And I do really, I'll just add my little 2 pieces. It means a lot to me also to have that kind of goal or vision. It works well for me. It's not that we're not accomplishing a lot. It's just in the course of a busy kind of time, you kind of almost need to always come back. Like that beautiful quote, when the men were going to the moon, 99% of the time they were off course, but they knew they were going to the moon. So they just redirected each time. And I think it's really important. I tell that to the children at the school. We need to shoot for the moon here. So let's give ourselves that vision. And it really helps me to come back to it all the time. And to come back, I really use vision, mission statement as guiding principles always to what I'm going to be doing. And does it tie into what we do? And I wouldn't be here today without the understanding of inclusive community. So it really does feed us and direct us, of course. And I like that. I think that, I don't know, I'm going to say it again. I love that. They were 99% of the time, they were all course, and they were aiming for the moon.
Okay, I guess we're wrapping up. Anything else? Okay. Or are you good?
Sorry?
Anything else you want to add?
No, I'm all set.
Okay, well, thanks everyone for coming out today.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much.
March is a funny month.
Thank you.
Welcome, Christine. Nice to see you.
Christine.
Nice to see you, Christine. March is a funny month, so we'll send out notes about dates for March meeting.
Okay.
It's because of the March break, right? We can talk about that.
Yeah.
And we'll send out notes about committee too, so if you're interested in getting involved in those committees, you can do that.
Okay, great.
Okay. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
Annette?
Bye-bye.
Annette?
Yes.
Are you still there, Annette?
Yep,
It's Katrina.
Hi, Katrina.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
Okay, so I got the school boards that are part of the group.
Okay.
So it's the Greater Essex County, the public and the Catholic. And then it's Thames Valley.
Oh, okay.
And the London District Catholic Board, the Rainbow District School Board, Sudbury Catholic, and Waterloo Catholic and Waterloo Regional.
Wow. Okay.
So it's those 4 areas.
That's quite a few.
Thanks, Katrina. If you
That helpful?
Yeah, totally.
I know they're not the biggest. I think Thames Valley is the biggest out of all of those.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So there you go, Janice. Thames Valley is there.
Yeah, I'm surprised.
Yeah.
Yep, they're part of it.
Katrina, let us know if you want to be a contact in your area.
Okay.
Yeah, if you want
I will do.
Join us. Okay, thanks so much.
Thanks.
Well, let me know what you want to ask Kathleen Wynne, too. Give me.
Yeah.
Ask her about when they're going to start teaching children with dyslexia how to read.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she's going to come back with that, oh, well, we have that LD reference group. That's what we're doing. I know what she's going to come back with.
Yeah, then you
So I
can
got to
say,
have something else to go along with it.
that doesn't cover off 3/4 of the province.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
Well, that's what they're planning to do, but I don't think it's going to work.
You say how long it's
I myself know it's not going to work.
Sorry, guys. I got to grab the phone here.
Okay. Bye, guys.
All right. Bye-bye.
Hello?
I have the $600.
Hi. It is. Oh, yeah. I got your email. Yeah, I just printed it all up. Oh, I appreciate that.